Welcome to this week's episode of Spicing Things Up. I am your host, Brennan Merkel, and we're spicing things up here today, aren't we? I am doing the intro today, and I am here with my fellow host, Jacob Benson. Jacob, it's almost a new year, man. How are you getting ready for 2021?
I'm more mourning the fact that we're not going to be able to talk about how bad this year is anymore.
Can't blame things on this year anymore, right?
No, because as soon as 2021 hits, we're kind of just like stuck with optimism because it
I
can't
agree.
get any worse than it already is in life right now.
You know who is ready for 2021, I'm sure, is a lot of teams in the NFL.
Yeah,
And
definitely not
this
stand up to
past
medias.
weekend was a toughie for a couple of teams. And to start our show, we're going to recap those and start with the Bills game from last night, Monday night. How was that
Absolutely
one?
electric. I love Josh Allen. I
And
wish I knew him personally.
and going off, the Patriots are definitely one of those teams that are just absolutely ready for this year to be just end already because they're like a chicken running around with their head cut off, and they have one of the top five, I think, cap space room for teams next year. So I'm sure they're just ready. Bill Belichick is probably just grumpy old man on the sidelines every single game.
Yeah, Cam Newton, I don't think he's cut out to be a starting quarterback in the NFL anymore. I
It's
think he's had his
it's
time.
it is so hard because the Patriots are so weird because all of a sudden they're like, let's toss in Jared Stidham in the mix because Cam Newton isn't getting the job done, and then things are just as shitty. So it's like
Yeah.
this team is just dead. They're absolutely dead.
You
But
want
on the other side, the Bills are they're sweet.
to hear a cool stat?
I do.
The Bills have not won 12 games in the regular season since 1993. And guess what other year that was?
What year was that?
That was their last Super Bowl appearance in which they lost. So,
Damn.
you know what? Bills fans deserve this because I know they lost in the wild card round to the Texans last year, but they have definitely worked their asses off. Josh Allen is definitely starting to see his true potential. I'm liking what I'm seeing this year. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I was very tempted to turn the game off last night as soon as Matt Barkley went in because I'm like, this is over. They were up by what the score was 38-9
It
when
was tough.
yeah.
And you're right though. They look like the real deal, and they're rolling right now. That was a statement win. I mean, they just mushroom stamped Bill Belichick right on the and yeah. Actually, another stat for you, and this was actually a next gen stat that was brought up before the game started. It said Cam Newton wakes up at 4 a.m., but he doesn't take his first sip of coffee until 8. That was an actual stat
Yeah.
that they brought
What
up
the
on the
hell?
broadcast. All right.
I don't know how
So,
you can function like that.
oh, dude, I
Well,
have
first of all, why is he getting up
an
that early?
addiction to caffeine. Who knows, dude? Some of these professional athletes, I mean, they know how to keep their bodies in shape. I mean, I don't think we have any
You know what?
like we can't
I,
question them.
I think I know what it is. I think they need to get up that early just so they can eat their 4 breakfasts before they start hitting the gym and stuff. Like, have you seen some of these diets these guys are on? They
Oh,
have to eat
dude,
like 6,000 calories a day just to stay alive.
I wish I was a swimmer, man. You ever seen what
Why?
those? Because Michael Phelps probably throws down like 5 Big Macs, and he just burns all of his calories within a single workout.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point too. But yeah, like even thinking about like I've been dieting. You know, I've been working out a lot. I'm not saying it's a New Year's resolution. I'm just trying to get in good shape and I'm eating a little bit better. Thinking about how much these guys are eating because I'm lifting weights too, and I'm like, you know what? If I were to do something like this, I would have to lift every single day of my life for like the next 30 years just to be on the same level.
At this point, too far behind. Not going to start now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let's get back to the game. So
So what's
actually,
another one?
I got another good stat for you here though. So the
Mhm.
Patriots haven't won less than 7 games in the regular season since the year 2000,
Jeez,
and
those were
you can
Drew
thank one
Bledsoe,
man for that happening, and his name is Tom Brady, who
and
is
he
now
is not on the team anymore.
no, and I could not be happier. I think as a Chiefs fan, I don't think I really hated the Patriots more as I hated Tom Brady because I respect Cam Newton as a quarterback. I just don't think it's time. He's just not working with Belichick's system.
Yeah, we'll see. They had a lot of players that opted out of this season.
That too, and they've
on
had
defense.
injury problems too, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So also, who they have 0 tight ends. They have their number one wide receiver. Edelman was out. The number one wide receiver is Jacoby Myers. Like how does like you can't blame a guy for not being able to do anything when his offense is literally just the worst thing that could be set up around him.
No, and sorry, I lost my train of thought here. I would definitely also say that this season for the Patriots needs to have an asterisk next to it. I want to see.
It depend. I would say that this season should probably have an asterisk for most part, but
Like the
unless
entire
like
NFL?
yeah, I mean, unless your team wins the Super Bowl that you are a fan of, you're not going to count the season, you know.
Yeah.
But either way, all right. So let's look at some of these other games that happened. How about the Colts blowing it to the Steelers? How about that one?
Not surprised, but I didn't want to see it happen. Actually,
I mean-
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this because one, so the Steelers have, shall we say, completely clenched the NFC or the AFC North officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they're a problem team because I don't want to see them succeed in the playoffs just because I'm a Chiefs fan, but I would definitely see I have really mixed feelings about it because they started off so strong, but they did not have that strong of a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And so, them beating the Colts, that was probably one of their best wins in a long time.
And you know what that did is now the Colts are tied with the Titans, Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns at
Disgusting.
being 10-5 in the AFC playoff picture. So there's like a 5-way tie right now between these 5 teams heading into the playoffs. But yeah, the Colts, they were up 24-7 going into the third quarter. Final score was 28-24. They literally didn't score other than a field goal in the second half.
Yeah, but I will say this, though. The Colts are definitely be a team to look out for in the playoffs. They're going to make it. They are actually kind of a dark horse when it comes to at least getting past the wild card round.
Well, thanks to the collapse by the Colts, their playoff picture is actually now out of their hands because, I mean, they'll beat the Jags. They have the Jags week 17.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they did lose to them week 1, so you never know. But they also have to have either the Ravens, Browns, or Dolphins lose to stand a chance. So, I mean, we'll get into some of those matchups in a second anyways. So.
Yeah, but I do also do you remember last week how you said the Falcons just biblically lose or blow leads?
Yeah.
Well, they did it again, B-Merc. They did it again to the Kansas City Chiefs. Although that game definitely cost Patrick Mahomes any shot at winning MVP this year, which I'm not completely upset with because every stat has been that if a quarterback or any player that wins the MVP in the regular season does not win the Super Bowl.
Well, Lamar Jackson last year.
And he did not win the Super Bowl.
It's too much pressure.
And Mahomes won it in 2017 or 2018, and he didn't go to the Super Bowl either. So I'm just saying if Rodgers gets it, I'm okay.
That's the thing. That's the thing we also have to talk about is that Rodgers is definitely going to win the MVP, and the Packers looked just absolutely incredible.
Well, could you call the environment an advantage there? Because how
absolutely.
often do you think Tennessee has to play in a full-on blizzard?
Oh, that's 100% was in the favor of the Green Bay Packers. But that's like what I said. I was like, dude, all the Titans needed to do was control that clock and run the ball with Derrick Henry. And, I mean, the Packers defense, dude, if they keep playing like that, it's a scary team. But they ended up getting into a shootout with Rodgers, and that's not something you're going to win, especially in the foot of snow.
Because the way to beat Derrick Henry is to shut him down early. And nobody thought that the Packers were really going to stand that much of a chance against them because historically they haven't had that great of a rushing defense. So it would probably – I mean, obviously the snow definitely had a very big part to play there. But the Titans, you can't blame them for losing to the Packers right now. But still, like I was actually expecting to watch a much better game there.
Yeah, it was close for a second, but once Rodgers gets that fire in his eye, I mean, there was no stopping him and Devontae Adams out there, dude. It's literally a cheat code.
No,
I hate it. I hate watching it, but you got to respect it.
and I hate saying this, but I definitely think Rodgers deserves MVP this year.
Yeah, he deserves it, and he will definitely. There's no one else you could really argue. I mean, maybe Josh Allen, but I just
Josh
think
Allen won't get
Rodgers.
it.
No, I think Rodgers
year.
is the clear-cut winner.
Yeah, and I'm not upset about Mahomes not getting it because almost every game the Chiefs have played this year, they should have been blowouts.
Yeah.
Should have been blowouts. The Chiefs didn't even cover for half their games.
Yep.
So
let's see. Just moving on to this week's or last weekend's game instead of going too far back. I just wanted to take full responsibility for that Eagles loss right now and full responsibility of Jalen Hurts' bad play because I totally jinxed him.
You deserve
but
it.
I still think he's a good player and he'll turn out fine. But we have to remember that this guy played behind Carson Wentz for a whole season. I mean, he's got that, and it kind of showed in this last game. He had 3 turnovers. You could see the Wentz influence. Ooh, that sounds nice.
I think you're trying to hex Jalen Hurts for their game against Washington next Sunday.
I mean, the Eagles would have been 5-9-1, and heading into this week, the Washington football team would have been 6-9. So say the Eagles won, they would have been 6-9-1, and that they would have gotten in. They would have gotten in because of the tie. So now they don't have anything to play for, but that just means that they have nothing to play for as in playoff implications, but they could knock out Washington football team. So
out of the playoffs entirely.
Yeah. So I think that's the second best option with something to play for is knocking a division rival out of the playoffs. So
yeah,
it'll be an interesting game, I think. Still,
this entire week is just going to be like so hard to watch NFL wise because all the teams that have pretty much secured their spot in the playoffs, they're literally just playing for records at this. Like they're just playing for shits and giggles because they're going to bench all their starters. So it doesn't even like this weekend doesn't even matter for half the team or for most of the teams in the NFL right now because either they've already made the playoffs or they're not. The only games that are going to matter this week are the people that are counting on a win just to stay alive right now. Yeah,
and going off of that and going off of the NFC East, let's head into this weekend's games.
Beautiful.
And the first game we got is Dallas at New York against the Giants.
Yes, Dallas at the Giants. So now Dallas is favored.
Yeah, the line is 3.
Yep, line's 3. Dallas is favored. Money line is Dallas minus 156, New York plus 132 with an over-under of 44.5. So the Cowboys are on a 3-game winning streak right now.
Yes, they're
actually starting to look like a real football team. I still do not trust Mike McCarthy's their head coach, right?
No. Or yeah, he is. My bad.
Yeah, see,
I hate Mike McCarthy. Sorry. I just kind of try and forget his existence.
No, it's okay. I don't blame you.
That meatball of a man. Go
ahead. I don't blame you. I don't trust this Cowboys team right now to win important games like this because they're only a couple games ahead of the New York Giants right now. But the New York Giants are on a 3-game losing streak. So this
the recipe for disaster.
Exactly. They are, at stats right now. So everything in life is 50-50, Brendan. Either it's going to happen or it's not. So the Giants are either going to win this game or they're not. But I think if we're actually going based off statistics here, they should be winning this game just because they're due for one. Because they're not a horrible team by any means. I don't think
they're pretty bad. The Giants' offense is one of the worst in the league. And the last 6 games with Dalton, the Cowboys have actually averaged almost 30 points.
That's just your opinion, man.
So the Cowboys can clinch the playoffs with a win and a Washington football team loss. So it's not completely up to them. So they have control of their destiny, but not their fate.
See, my mind says take the Dallas cover.
I'm going to take Dallas minus 3.
I absolutely will too. And I would also take that over of 44.5. I would definitely take that.
I might stay clear of that one, but I don't know. It's tough because
Some
I think
teams,
Dallas could probably throw up 40 points on by themselves, depending on the day. I mean, we've seen them do that the past few weeks, but boy, are the Giants bad, dude.
so
I
why
do
are you
not want to
saying they
rely
can't
on
do it
them
then? Or why can't you say the over would hit then?
because I just don't trust the Giants, dude.
Oh my god.
That's a bad. I've seen some recent comparisons drawn between Dalton and Prescott. Do you think those two guys are even within the same playing field?
Oh my god, no.
Good.
No.
I can't believe anybody would.
Andy
You're
Dalton got dropped from Cincinnati.
exactly.
Yeah, there's no contest, man. That's historically one of the worst football teams in the NFL, and you're getting
Good.
dropped from that.
Good. I
Like,
just
yeah,
needed
he
some
was
reassurance
lucky.
from you that I wasn't going crazy here. Like, oh, these two guys can't be. They aren't anywhere near each other. You're taking Dak Prescott 100 times out of 100 times.
Yes, Andy Dalton should be believing in God right now that he was able to get a place on a franchise such as the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, I can't knock him too much because he's been playing well. So,
He
all
has
right.
been, but still. Okay, moving on. So we got the Steelers at the Browns.
Yep.
So the line is 7, with Cleveland being favored.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I like that too, because the Steelers, actually, so the Browns just choked.
Yep. So
So
now they're getting a second chance.
they're getting a second chance. They're coming off a loss, and they're at home.
Yeah.
I definitely
And I
think they can beat the Steelers team.
and I honestly I don't blame the Browns too much for their loss. I mean, Baker Mayfield looked bad, but you got to think how short of a notice it was with half their skill players being out put on the COVID list. So they'll have those guys back.
And
And
Baker's got skill and a high football IQ too. He can make this happen easily.
I do like Baker, but it's also mostly due to the fact that the Steelers are going to be probably benching most of their starters.
That too. I mean, this game doesn't really matter. Like, this is one of those games that we were talking about that doesn't really matter that much.
It does matter because the Browns need to win in order to make the playoffs. But it doesn't matter for the Steelers because
They're already in.
they already clinched the AFC North. But yeah, I mean the Browns. We'll see, dude. They after losing to the stinky Jets. I mean now they're in a must-win game. But I mean against backups. So I'm going to take the desperate team.
I would go right behind. I would follow your picks into war, Brennan. I'm liking that a lot. And then we got an
Cleveland
over
minus
under
7.
42.5. Excuse me.
That's pretty low. So I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
But it's at the same time you know what it is? Was it Mason Rudolph? He's starting Myles Garrett. It was Mason Rudolph that Garrett hit across the head with his helmet, right?
Yes.
No way. That's a week 17 matchup right there.
We need another repeat of that.
Wow, dude. What a way to end the season. Just
Literally. Redemption.
now it's Mason Rudolph hitting the Brown. Dude, that would be such a good way to end the season. I might be rooting for the Steelers now to beat the Browns just because of that.
Really?
No. But
I kind of want I wish Juju was playing and he can go make another TikTok dance on the logo, so the Steelers would lose again. I don't want to see them win. Well, I mean, I already know they're probably not going to win this if they're not playing any starters, but still, it would just be nice. All
all
right.
right, so what's the next one?
Up next, we got the Ravens at Cincinnati at the
Okay.
Bengals. I should probably use both the logo names, so I'm going to say one of them.
Yeah,
So the line is 11.5. Ravens are favored,
as they should.
and I definitely think that will hit.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the easier draws of the 10-5 teams that
Mhm.
need a win to make the playoffs. I mean, Ravens got real lucky here, but I don't think they'll have too much trouble with the Bengals at all.
And I don't think we're going to see another Bengals team like we did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Or last Monday.
despite a 2-game win streak for Cincy, good for them. They're done. I don't see this one being close. I mean, that 11.5 is a fat spread,
Yeah.
and I do think the Ravens should cover, but
They are going to have to actually try, though.
They are. I feel safer betting the over at 45.5 than Ravens 11.5. So
True. All right.
I think I'm frothing at the mouth at the over on this one.
All right. We'll tell our bettors to hammer in on that because I actually am liking that a lot too. Up next, we got the Seahawks and the 49ers.
These are into the afternoon games, right?
Yes, we
And
are officially in the afternoon game.
We're kind of skipping over Miami Buffalo because that one is there's no lines out for that one yet. So Miami does have to win, but I don't think the Bills are going. They kind of already have clinched everything they've needed to, I believe.
Yeah, because they're 12-3.
Yeah, so
They have no reason to play their starters.
So and they can't get the 1 seed, so they shouldn't. Only thing is, if Josh Allen needs like 100 more yards or something to beat like some Buffalo record, he might come in for that. So,
dude,
we'll see.
That's the only reason that teams are going to be playing their starters, and that's if like they're just trying to break records. Like it's not going to matter at all.
So we'll see. I mean, that's going to be Tua starting, even though the Miami Fitzmagic just came in and threw a no-look pass, Mahomes style, to set up a game-winning field goal against the Raiders last week.
Tua Lipa.
Lipa Dupa.
All right. So, yeah, for the Seahawks 49ers, so the line is set at 4.5, with Seattle being favored, obviously. And I'm definitely, if you're a bettor, take that. That is, you are completely foolish if you don't. Because the 49ers, Brennan, let me pull up my stat here. Sorry, I'm less prepared. 49ers are 6-9, and they are 4-7 in conference. Or I'm sorry, 3-2 in division was what I meant to say. So that stat itself, the 3-2 in division, that is what I would be looking for here, just because this is kind of a I wouldn't say trap game, but kind of how like that Raiders Chiefs game at the beginning of the season was. It's definitely going to be a blueprint game for the Seahawks. So they're definitely going to have to watch out here.
So the thing is with this game, the Seahawks still have a chance to lock up the number 1 seed. They still have a chance to lock up the number 1 seed in the NFC. So, but they would need both Green Bay and Saints to lose to get their bye. So not only do they have to win, they need those other 2 teams to lose. So that's kind of a tall order at this point. So I think the Seahawks are going to be kind of strategic about playing some of their main starters, some of those guys that might be banged up.
Yeah.
They might just give them an extra week of rest, but we'll see. The 49ers, they looked pretty good against the Cardinals last week. I mean, their run game just was nonstop. So I do kind of feel like this is a trap game, and I am a little scared of this one.
I could see, like, I won't be surprised if the 49ers win. I won't be surprised. Is it likely to happen? No. But like I said, I won't be dumbfounded, stonewalled, upset about it, because this isn't going to affect me either way anyways. And I can honestly, if the Seahawks play as they have been lately, I could definitely see them just getting destroyed by the Packers in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to make it to the NFC Championship, but I definitely think that, I think if they're going to go to the divisional round and meet the Packers and just get blown out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how those matchups play out for next week.
Oh yeah, and I'm so excited to just see where the playoffs are going to be. Which teams are set where. Like it's going to be like a second Christmas for me.
I agree.
All right, so did we talk about the over/under for that one?
46.5?
Yeah.
We didn't, but
take the under.
I think the under. The Seahawks just did not look too great against the Rams either.
No.
I see this one just being kind of a run defense type of game.
Yeah, maybe. And I'm kind of using the excuse of divisional games being harder than regular season games, just because. But yeah, I think that excuse in itself is starting to wear out a bit because
personally, I'm I think I'm going to stay a little bit clear of placing any money on this one.
Of that game itself?
Yeah, because the Seahawks, who knows what their plan is going to be coming into that game, if they're going to try or not to try to lock up that 1 seed.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, moving on, we got the Cardinals and the Rams.
Cards
With,
against the Rams.
Yep, another NFC West with the Rams being favored with the line at 1.5.
1.5. Okay. So
That
as of
is
right now,
tricky. That is tricky.
it's tricky because as of right now, the starting quarterbacks in this game are, drumroll, John Wolford. John Wolford for the Rams versus possibly Chris Streveler for the Cardinals. Because Jared Goff just broke his hand. So he got surgery and is going to be out at least this week, depending on if they make playoffs, because this game is big for them. They have to win. And then Kyler Murray is questionable, I think.
Yeah.
So it's something to watch. If Murray is playing, it's tough.
If Kyler Murray plays this game, he's going to get injured.
For two teams that really need to win, the stakes being put behind possibly two just pure backups that literally I don't know if they've started a NFL game ever.
Are we going to get a discount NFL game while watching this, if that's the case here?
Dude, we should.
I mean, I think that's going to be a joke of a game, if that's the case.
I mean, Chris Streveler
Defense will win both of them.
was in the Canadian Football League, and I saw some pictures and videos of him celebrating. Apparently, he won the CFL championship, and honestly,
he's not the blind guy, right?
He seemed pretty electric. He's not the blind guy.
Okay.
So, I think I would like that backup more than the Rams if it came down to it. But the other guy played at South. Oh no! Streveler played at South Dakota, so. I'm willing to bet he has probably one of those, those tattoos on his arm of the fading forest line, that just everyone from South Dakota has, like some trees.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Man, guys, Brennan really did his homework today.
Dude, I was interested in this game because I was like, it's possibly two backup quarterbacks in the most important game of both team seasons.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. I wanted to know if I should bet on it. And I think even if the backups are playing, I think I'm going to bet on Arizona. I'm taking the Cardinals in this.
Okay.
one.
And that is completely fair, especially if backups are playing. And you also have to keep in mind that defense is most likely going to win this game for either team.
Yep. And both defenses have been playing fairly well. Obviously, the Rams have been better overall this year, but the Cardinals defense is coming around. I like their defense.
Exactly. And I did not see an over-under listed for this game, which kind of worried me. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why it was probably tough for them to come up with one since they don't know who's going to start yet. So
exactly, yeah.
It probably, yeah.
So
the under would probably be too. Let's make one.
Let's make an over-under. I'll go with let's see. I'll go with 40.5.
40, I was going to say, that's probably pretty fair. And, I mean, the Rams just put up less than 10 last week something, didn't they? Maybe 13? I don't even know. So
13. But, so I am officially a Vegas bookkeeper. Yeah. I actually just accepted the job. Yeah, so sorry, guys, I'm leaving the show. But, yeah, so I'll go with 40.5h. And
I would take the under on that still.
I would also
that's
take
very
an under
low.
still. I'm creating that. See, it's fun when you can create your own stat or line just to go under it still.
Yep.
Because then you debate with yourself too.
So yeah, playing little mind games with yourself.
Exactly. It's what Christmas is all about, man. All right. Up next we got the Jags and the Colts. And the Colts are the home team.
Yeah, I mean
you want to know what the line is?
What is it?
14.
Oh my God.
Hey,
honestly,
we've seen bigger upsets before.
The last time I said hammer a line that was even bigger than that, it was the Jets versus the Rams, and we'll see how that turned out. But honestly, dude, Mike Glennon, come on, dude. He's just bad.
Hey, I was
But
right
the
about the
Jag,
Bengals.
yeah, you were exactly. So it's like the Jags beat the Colts once. I don't think it'll happen again.
I don't think so either.
The Colts last week. Go ahead.
I wouldn't take a Colts cover though.
You don't think they'll
I think
cover?
the Jags would cover. If you're gonna bet on the line, take the Jags.
I don't know, dude. The Jacksonville just got blown out by the Bears, who's like a Walmart version of the Colts. And I don't know. Everybody was saying like the bet last week was to pick the Jags covering because I think the spread was like 8.5.
It'll hit
And
eventually.
I don't know. I think I feel comfortable with taking the Colts here. Must win game for them too.
Okay.
I don't know if it's not as must win as maybe the Browns, but I don't know.
If they won,
The Colts do have to win, so
yeah. And I've actually been doing a lot of thinking about this. So the Jags are 100% getting Trevor Lawrence, and not only because the Jets have won, but because the Jaguars have a much softer schedule being in the AFC South this year than the Jets did. So they are obviously like, because I was actually kind of divided on the issue when we were talking about it last week. The Jaguars, like I didn't even think about having like a softer schedule being a bigger impact. As soon as the Jets won that first game, chances were all out the window. He's 100% going to Jacksonville.
Yeah, were the Jets fake being bad?
No.
Well, now they've won 2 games. I saw some debate.
Even the Huskers have won a couple games this year. I mean,
that's true. That's true. I don't know if it's a joke or not, but I've been seeing this debate about whether or not the Jets should extend Adam Gase as a head coach. What do you think about that?
I think for comical reasons, yes. At least I would, just to kind of watch that, like, because they'd be that team. Like, they would be the team, like, in a cafeteria, they'd be the bullied kid, like the kid that gets bullied every day.
Yeah.
By literally everybody.
Yeah.
Even their own friends. So, like, yeah, I definitely think they should extend Adam Gase's contract. But, I mean, from a logistical standpoint, probably not. Or at least see how they do this year.
Yeah, I mean, because
QB's
year. Drafted first overall compared to the rest of their classes as of in quarterback history have like never been that much better. I mean, you had Kyler Murray 2 years ago who got drafted first overall, and Josh Allen was 17th or something. And I mean, Kyler Murray obviously still a good quarterback, but as of right now, you're picking Josh Allen probably over Kyler Murray.
Bro, I don't know why I was thinking that Josh Allen was a first pick.
No, he wasn't. So Kyler Murray was the number 1 overall there. So it's like,
I'm so glad I didn't confidently say it on the show as if I knew. I was kind of thinking about it, and then I was like, no, you know what?
I mean, don't hold me to him being 17th, but yeah, he wasn't a first overall. I mean, because people were doubting Josh in the draft. He was one of. I mean, you had a lot of people that were.
Barstool made him famous, pretty much.
True.
Because he went to a school like Wyoming. Like, you're not really gonna like.
He was Murray's draft class, right?
Yeah, he was. That was that would have been 2018. Or was that 2019?
No, I think it was 2018. I think you're right. Either way, it really depends. I mean, you're going to have those generational quarterbacks that you can't pass up the first round pick. Like you had Andrew Luck drafted first overall, which I was thinking about him the other night.
Right.
Wasn't Andrew Luck being in the NFL feels like a fever dream, does it not?
Yeah. I mean, that
dude was so good. And all of a sudden he's like, nah, I quit. Right before like the kickoff of one of their games, right?
Dude, I was at a preseason game with a couple buddies, and they were in a draft, like in a fantasy draft, like while we were there. Which, first of all, that's awesome, just that even happened. But he drafted Andrew Luck as a quarterback in the first round. Literally later that night, ESPN and Bleacher Report notifications that Andrew Luck is retiring from the NFL. They were so pissed.
That's how it goes, but that's on him for drafting Andrew Luck in the first round of a fantasy draft. I don't think that's the proper way to do it.
No, and also I'm not trying to like be a dick and just completely correct you, but Josh Allen's draft class was 2018 and Kyler Murray was 2019.
Oh, okay.
So I think Josh Allen might have been first pick.
He was not the first pick. but that is my bad. I was off on the year.
Oh, you're good.
But
man.
that just shows you that it doesn't. He definitely wasn't even the first quarterback chosen either. So
Baker Mayfield was the first pick. I just remember.
that's who
realized
it
that.
was. Okay, Oklahoma guys or whatever.
They're always good. Same with Alabama.
Well, Baker was what 2017,
2018.
2018. No,
He was the first pick of the 2018 draft.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. My
Nice from Omaha too. If you didn't know that.
yeah. All right. So what's the next game? We got really off track there, but
Yeah, the over under for the Jags game is
they should
50.
fire Adam Gase. Was my point of all of that. Is the Jets should definitely not extend Adam Gase because he sucks.
Okay, I'll just agree with you. Just for old time's sake, I'll agree with you.
For the sake of moving on.
Yeah. For the next game, we got the Titans and the Texans.
Oh, what's the spread? 7.5.
The
Tennessee.
line is 7.5 in Tennessee's favor. Correct. Yeah.
I'm hammering that.
Yeah, that's going to be a blowout and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
Titans are back in their element, even though they're going to be in Houston, but that's going to be their stadium that day.
Titans need a dub. I like the spread. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans to cover here. Texans just lost to the Bengals. That team just has no life anymore.
No. And the Titans, this is definitely going to be a chip on the shoulder game for Tennessee, just coming off that loss from Green Bay.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We got an over-under of 56, which is insane.
That's a lot.
Actually, that's not too crazy, but I would definitely take an over for that.
No, I don't think it's out of question. That's for sure.
I think Houston's at least going to score once. And Tennessee will probably score 5 times as much, but I definitely think that over would hit. I'm confident in that. So take my word for it. Take Brennan's word for it.
I don't take my word for it.
All right, and
I'm not endorsing it.
Our next game, we got the one you've been waiting for, the Packers and the Bears.
I mean, I feel like I need to pour a drink before I talk about this one.
Me too, just for your sake.
I mean, thanks a lot, Rams, because their loss opened up 2 playoff spots technically, but
right.
The Packers now have to try in Week 17, along with both Saints and Seahawks, because they're all trying to get the number 1 seed now.
Right.
So, I mean, the last thing the Bears wanted was a head full of steam Green Bay headed into Soldier Field. So, dude, that Rodgers-Adams connection was on horse tranquilizers that last game. You can't guard that guy. I am nervous about this one because the Packers get the 1 seed if they beat the Bears or if Seattle loses. So, I mean, it's not completely all on this game, but they're going to be trying. Yeah,
and the line's at 6 with the Green Bay favorite. I don't think they'll cover, actually. And
see, I would agree with that. I probably wouldn't throw that into a parlay, I think.
No, I wouldn't either.
I think that one
we put like $10 on it.
See, I want to root for my Bears, and the Packers they're not the only team with something on the line here, though. The Bears need a win to lock up a playoff spot.
Right.
And, I mean, these are 2 teams that typically play each other really well. Like you said, division games, literally, you never know what's going to happen. And if the Bears' offense is clicking like it has been, they stand a chance.
Oh, yeah, dude. Mitch Trubisky, I just hearing what people were saying about him on Twitter, it was an emotional roller coaster just for me to look at it. I had no tie in that game whatsoever. But people were pissed, then people were happy, then people were pissed, then people were happy. I was like, this is how I feel watching any NFL game. That was the most relatable I have felt to a quarterback since obviously Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, it was just fun to watch.
Mitch did what Mitch does, and he threw a bad pick in the game that he didn't need to throw. So as long as
and then ran in touchdowns and
I mean, it was a dominant win. So if that Mitch can kind of put that alter ego Mitch where he throws, actually his alter ego is being good.
Yeah.
His regular is being bad. But if we can get a good Mitch game, I mean, the Bears have scored 140 points in their last 4 games, which is around 35 points. So he actually, since Mitch has been reinstated, he has the previous 4 games. So He has a 108.5 passer rating, which is seventh best in the NFL, and mind you, is actually higher than both Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson in that span.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially with the year that Mahomes has had, any stat that makes him not look just godlike doesn't even surprise me anymore.
I mean, albeit the Bears were those were up against the bad defenses, so I don't
Yeah.
really want to compare them at all. That was kind of just a joke. But the Bears declined Mitch's fifth-year option, so it'll be interesting to see what happens if he somehow pulls out a win against that all-time rival in Green Bay.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, just for anybody listening that like does want to put money on this game, take the Packers because anybody that's betting against them this week is doing it completely out of spite. I would be doing it out of spite if I could bet.
You're betting the
Brennan would be
Packers.
doing it out of spite too.
I have my eyes more on the over, which is 50.5.
Take the over for sure. Yeah,
I do like that. But yeah, I mean, that number one seed is so enticing. The Packers are going to come out and they're going to be balling. I mean, the one seed is more important now than it ever has been because, I mean,
because
you
they're
don't
only
want to be traveling.
in.
Yeah, and you don't want to be traveling sometimes. You never know. COVID stuff. So I think the Packers, we'll see.
Well, anybody getting that one seed right now is super lucky. Take the Chiefs, for instance. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got injured last week against,
anything can
against
happen.
the Saints. So that's an extra week that he's going to get he's going to get to rest now.
The
That's
Bears
3
just need
weeks for
the Bears just need everything to go right for them,
Exactly.
and then they'll win.
And you know what? I'm rooting for you guys because the NFL's good when the Bears are good. You know, you guys are a historic team. You like to see it.
And if the Rams win, then the Cardinals will be knocked out, and the Bears will get the tiebreaker if they lose still. So we got a couple things that we can watch for, but luckily those
the
games
Rams
were
beat the Bears earlier this year.
They did, but we hold the tiebreaker against the Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. Luckily they flex those games all to the afternoon slot, so teams all have to play for something. But yeah, so that's my rant.
You know what? It's well deserved. You've put in your time this season, and we're all proud of you. All right, our next game is the Saints at the Panthers, and the line is set at 6.5 with Saints favor.
I'll take that. I'll take the cover.
I would too. Is it Kamara or
Alvin Kamara?
Yes.
I mean,
he's insane.
Yeah, we can't just forget what just happened. I mean, they just dropped a 50 burger.
Yeah, that was Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Vikings.
Merry Christmas. And God, just an insane game to watch, dude. Like, oh my God. Saints are so good. I'd actually be surprised. I know we were just talking about like the Packers and stuff, but like I would actually be really surprised if the Saints either don't get the one seed or if they're knocked out early.
Yeah,
I really do see a very high probability of a Packers Saints NFC Championship.
Yeah, for the Saints to get the one seed, the Packers have to lose and the Seahawks have to win.
Seahawks could win.
Seahawks could win, but the Packers to lose is the deal breaker there.
You know what? Just make sure Mitch eats his vegetables tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell him to eat his Wheaties. He'll eat his Italian beef.
Exactly.
But no, I mean the Panthers have a good record of hanging around in games, but with the Saints having that potential for the one seed, they'll be trying. And even if Christian McCaffrey, because there's been rumors that he's coming back, which I don't understand. Mm-hmm. Why would you even risk that at this point? So I doubt he plays, but I don't think the Panthers have enough to keep up with the Saints at all.
I don't either. And I think they're just going to go with like how they've been consistently almost beating a team this season and then just still losing by like within 10.
Yeah. So
like it's just going to be an ugly loss for them. It's just their fans are going to be depressed. It's just going to be a sad weekend for Panthers fans.
But over at 48 is enticing too, but I think I feel more safe just going Saints minus 6.5. I like it a lot.
Yeah, if you're going to take an over-under, take the over, obviously. But
I agree.
Yeah, definitely that Saints cover is looking very attractive right now. Maybe I might buy it a drink and ask it to go on a date with me. But all right, and last but not least, and probably the most important game this weekend for you NFC East fans, is the Washington football team versus the Philadelphia Birds.
Mhm.
And Washington's favored with a line at 1. What do you think of that, Brennan?
I mean, we have no idea who the quarterback is going to be right now for the Washington football team
Nope.
because, as we know, Dwayne Haskins was just released, which is pretty funny.
I bet he's a really good tipper.
I see what you did there. Was that in reference to
The strip
strip
clubs.
club?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
We're on the same page.
Okay, I guess I didn't have to explain the joke, but I did.
It's okay.
But I do think he'll end up somewhere else eventually. I think there's still some untapped potential and talent somewhere in there. But anyway, I think in this one the line is 1.
Yeah.
Washington's favored, right?
Yeah, I'm taking. I'd take that too, honestly.
I am gonna go against you in this, and I'm going to take Philly.
Ryan, how could you? All right. Well, anyway, let's talk about this, though, because Washington is 2 games ahead of Philadelphia right now.
They're eliminated.
Yes.
So this
all this
game-
could do is if the Eagles win, all that does is knock Washington down to the playoffs, right?
Yeah, and it allows the Cowboys the potential to make the playoffs with a win.
With
Against the Giants.
Eagles win? Oh, with their win. Okay. Yeah, against the Giants. So, okay.
So
I think it'll still be an interesting game to watch, though. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts have a good game.
I'm endorsing him again, man. I'm sorry to do it, but I'm endorsing him, and I think he has a comeback game. I mean, what a rush it was to see Deshaun Jackson come in and have 1 catch for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Dude, yeah, that was bigger than Mahomes' bomb, like 75-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill against the Bucs. Like I thought that was just like that 80-yard to Jackson was just insane, man.
And it was just nostalgic.
Pat on the back. Pat on the back.
I need like 3 of those next week for my survival. But
Yeah,
anyway,
and the only reason I said anything good about the Eagles was actually to get you to do it so that they lose and Washington covers. Because I think you are just a curse to Jalen Hurts.
We'll see if it doesn't work out this week. I might have to lay back and just
go on Twitter
start hating
and
on him.
publicly apologize, and that will repent for your sins. But
Yeah, but I mean, obviously not as good as making the playoffs, but the potential opportunity to knock a division rival out of playoffs it's something to try for as a team. So I think the Eagles will. I think they pull this one out.
it will be, it's going to be an incredibly interesting game to watch. I would like to see the Eagles win too. I retract anything I said about Washington because I actually was on your side the whole time, and you just didn't know. And I'm also going to take.
You're testing me?
Yeah, I'm going to take this 42.5 over as well.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either.
Washington football, they
Both
did
teams
not look good last week, and they lost to Carolina, and that was a bad look for them.
I'd like to see who's starting for Washington before I officially put that in a lock.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have anybody really playing quarterback, they're not going to score any points, obviously.
Yeah, I can't even remember
as far as
their
at
next
least
guy
being able
up.
to compete with Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
think Alex Smith is going to play, so
No, I don't think so either. So
it'll be interesting. Maybe they'll play me. Maybe I'll come in for some snaps, blow the game.
see, I was wondering where you go every Sunday, and here you are. All right. So, yeah, that is week 17, and we are bittersweet about finishing these lines because I guess we'll have to just stick with playoffs and basketball after this week, huh?
You just cut out a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said we'll probably just have to stick to the playoffs and basketball after this week's NFL games, which makes me really sad because I wanted the season to happen so badly, and then now I'm just kind of burnt out on it. But that's true of any fan. All right. Switching gears here, Brennan, 2020 is on its last legs.
Finally.
It has been a pain in the ass, but I think we should just go ahead and we should air our grievances with 2020 right now. I want to hear what you thought the worst parts about this year were really quick.
I mean, when I was thinking about the worst versus the best parts of 2020, I mean, naturally the worst was that list was way longer. So I'm gonna narrow it down to a few things. We can go back and forth here. We can do a little chess match. So the first thing I got was movie theaters closing
Yeah.
because that was just a blow to me. I
There's
love
so many
going to the
good movies
theaters.
supposed to come out this year too.
Exactly, and I mean I appreciate a lot of the streaming services that stepped up and made movies, released them. So, but theaters closing hurts, dude. I miss drinking overpriced soda in a theater, sneaking in candy.
Well, and as soon as those open up too, you're gonna spend at least $30 in a movie theater if you want the whole experience.
Exactly.
They're gonna raise ticket prices to at least 15 instead of 10 now, just to kind of make up for this year.
Probably will.
And they're already getting just killed by streaming services. So yeah, it's just
I hope they
somebody
don't get
just-
rid of theaters, dude. I could
don't
probably
either.
keep them alive myself by how much I would pay to go see movies.
Yeah, go use your fantasy football winnings to buy out AMC and Marcus.
Yep. Hey, shout out my fantasy football team for giving me some extra spending money. Merry Christmas.
Hey, at least that happened this year.
Yep, that's the one good thing.
Cheer up,
All right.
pal.
All right, what's your list looking like? What's the first one?
The O Street bars closing out and not being open. See, I just turned 21 in
Be a little more specific. What is O
Okay.
Street?
So O Street in Lincoln, for all you non-Lincoln natives in this listening pool, is where the majority of college bars are located on just kind of one strip, and pretty much the most expensive the most expensive drink is going to be like $8, but
Mhm.
you're literally not going to be spending more than like $5 per place as long as you're smart. But yeah, O
Once you
Street.
get an Elk Creek pitcher, that's $11, but
Well, you get people to
that's like
Venmo
the
you.
watering hole. So
Yeah, you get people to
everybody's just
Venmo you, so it's
not COVID friendly. So
exactly. And very specific bars such as Barry's and Duffy's and Sandy's are on their way out as well. But Barry's, I have just been told by my co-host here that Barry's has been bought out, so it is going to be saved as another small business. But yeah, man, just the small businesses themselves. That's just
it's been tough.
I hate that about this year. That's another one of my gripes.
Yeah, it's been tough for sure, and they have not receiving a lot of help. But we won't get into that here.
Yeah.
So the next on my list, and I mean this in not a personal way, but kind of personal. Not too personal though. The Lakers winning the championship.
As a bad thing.
Yes, as one of the worst things.
Oh my god.
And it's no knock. Hey, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. That was tough. It was a tough year for that part, and that was
cruel
before
bastard.
everything happened. But there's something about Lakers fans, man, that I can't stand.
Oh no, I'm 100% with you. And you like the state of California. Like you were a fan of most of those people. So hearing that you hate
I'm a
Lakers
former
fans,
resident.
You were a former resident of California, and hearing what this man has to say about Lakers fans, you guys need to clean up your act. Get your shit together.
I mean, I don't blame them because Lakers fans, they've always been kind of one of those,
Snooty.
high-end snooty teams. But I mean, at the same time, now they have so many different demographics that joined up because all the LeBron fans are now Lakers fans. So it's just it's a
That's
personal.
combining two evils, man. It's
Exactly. So you know what? It's just not what I needed. It's not what everyone needed. But
yeah.
at the same time, good for them. It was all in Kobe's name. So
Exactly. And another downside to this year for me, at least, was college football season being cut short.
yeah,
At least for the Big Ten. Those are the games I wanted to watch, obviously, us being Nebraska fans. But
was it a bad thing though for us to not have to watch any more Nebraska games? It was a bad thing that we couldn't get to see Nebraska beat up on like a horrible out of conference team.
Yeah, we were just restricted to only conference games.
Yeah.
So had COVID not happened, we would have at least won another like 3 or 4 games just for being out of conference.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, maybe
with that.
okay, yeah, maybe that's pushing it, but
Maybe.
yeah, at least two. At least two. I'll give myself 2.
I'll give you that. All right, and then another thing for me is that now The Office is leaving Netflix on January 1st of 2021. So I know it's happening this next year, but I feel like it's safe to blame it on 2020.
And you found out.
Everyone found out in 2020, so I think it's we can shift the blame.
Yeah.
We can pretend it happened this year.
And another really bad thing about this year is stand-up comedians are no longer going to be able to talk about how bad this year was in their acts,
Why is that?
because this has just been such a relatable year for everybody. I can't think of anybody who's been like, oh yeah, 2020 has actually been the best year of my life.
It's true.
Like,
Yeah, I feel like the content could get very recycled when it comes to
oh no, it's going to be horrible.
comedians. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's just life sucks right now, man. But hey, you know what? I think we should talk about some positives that's happened this year, though. I'll start.
Yeah,
Chiefs won the Super
go ahead.
Bowl. Chiefs
Yeah, there it
won the
is.
Super Bowl. I wanted to talk about that so badly.
I mean, yeah, it's a fair to mention that if your team did anything this year, especially pre-COVID, I mean, that's definitely a nice thing to remember.
Yeah, and another good thing, I guess, would be Nebraska not playing a bowl game just to save us as fans more heartbreak.
True. And I just had sports coming back in general. I mean, remember when the NBA, like the bubble first happened, how just hype it was.
Oh my God,
I mean,
yeah.
even if you weren't an NBA like fan, it was just incredible to see them try to put together something that went against the grain of what everyone had been doing the past few months and
That
allowed people to
happened-
watch live sports.
That happened when just America as a country just needed that. We needed basketball back in our lives, and
was
baseball,
awesome.
which didn't come till later, but that's all right.
Baseball had a little more trouble too,
Yep.
so but
Which
yeah, I mean,
their games are already social distance anyway on average in the last couple of years, so not like they should have been able to not have a season anyway. But
Yeah.
Brennan, you want to know what I think the best thing to happen in the year 2020 was?
what's that?
The McRib came back.
Oh no, dude.
And guess what? I've never had it before, but I'm going to try it because I know it's illegal in like 90% of U.S. states.
What?
I don't think it's illegal, but they don't have it, but I'm definitely going to try it, man. It is
Yeah.
something that needs to be talked about. And I need
I've
to
never
do it
tried it, and I don't
first.
plan on starting now. I'm not gonna lie. But
You're a monster.
another thing that I had is that people actually wash their hands now, which is a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I actually just started today. I'm kidding, but yeah, no,
I have to
people-
text you to remind you.
Yeah, thank you again for doing that every day. But people, I have been seeing positive changes in people like just starting to take care of their hygienes and showering,
It's a good start.
washing their hands, brushing their teeth. And you know what? One of the nice things about masks is like you don't have to smell people's nasty ass breath anymore when they're like
very
right up in
true.
your face.
Very true.
And you don't have to, like,
What's next on your list?
for good things. What was I going to say? I actually think that about sums it up for me.
I got a few more.
I can't.
So let me
okay.
throw
I
a few
can't
more at you.
personally think of anything else good that happened this year. Well, you know what?
So
We're both alive. How about that?
there we
And
go.
the birth
Good
of the
health.
show. And the birth of the show.
There we go. So mine aren't as big as that, but you remember the paint eating grandpa tweet?
Yes.
Where some girl posted a picture of her sweet old grandpa who ate some green paint that he thought was yogurt. She took a picture of him and then posted it online. He just looked so sad. He had some paint dripping out of his mouth. Looked cute.
Is that
though.
elderly abuse?
It might be. I think
I
she ended up
mean,
deleting the tweet because
you
it got
gotta-
like so many retweets.
I mean, you're definitely senile if you're at the point where you're literally eating paint. Which how the hell does that not kill you?
How's your go-to also just like taking a picture of your grandpa? Like this dude's probably going to like die of lead poisoning or something.
Oh, dude, that reminds me of a TikTok I saw yesterday. Like, just people being dumb with phones. This kid literally assumed this kid in his class was in witness protection because he said he was like, oh yeah, this kid's definitely witness protection. Like, he just moved here from across the country. He's new to high school. He has no social media and he hates getting his picture taken. I'm like, so your first thought is to post that on a viral worldwide app.
So that's another thing I was going to ask is for best and worst, where do we rank TikTok? Because, I mean, you got some good parts of TikTok and you got some bad parts.
The
And
memes have been very dank this year. I've been
Oh
here
my
for
God.
it. The memes have been great.
I can't
I'm
believe
gonna-
you said that.
Well, memes are good Bad Luck Brian was cool and funny when we were like 13 years old. So,
All
I
right.
mean,
Well, I'm
like,
talking
memes
about
obviously.
like, what about the WAP? Where do we rank that in good things of this year? Because I honestly, when that video first came out, it was good.
Oh, yeah, I bet you watched it like 50 times. No, but you know what? I was playing it too just to be trendy.
Yeah.
But I, I'm not a fan.
All right. What about another one that we can debate on a little bit? Because I had this actually in my worst list, but remember the video of celebrities singing "Imagine" by John Lennon, like over Zoom calls? Like,
Yes, celebrities suck. I hate
yeah,
them. I hate them all.
that was one of the that actually was that I think is the highlight of the bad things that happened this year for me. And because that was just there's nothing like seeing just rich people pretending like they have it the same as we do.
Was
Like,
that
come on.
was that worse than the celebrities all being just naked as hell, like straight out of the womb, naked, like telling people
Oh,
to go out?
promoting the election.
Yeah.
uh, Both are pretty bad, and
Why are celebrities just so cringe, man?
they're so cringe. And
See, you and I, us being broadcasters now, we are so far on the bottom of that list.
I
We don't
mean, you
have to ever
just
worry
said
about being famous.
memes were really dank. So,
That's gonna get me viral.
hey, speaking of viral, this was the last thing I had on my list, so we can cap it after this. But speaking of viral, how about that one guy that was skateboarding to the Fleetwood Mac song, drinking
Oh,
juice, went viral, and then was able to buy a house, I'm pretty sure, with
dude, I'm
all the
pretty
money.
sure. I'm pretty sure he actually got pissed at actual Fleetwood Mac doing the same thing and
He
said that they
did.
were copywriting him.
There's no way that's true.
Because I saw, I don't know, but like, yeah, that like he definitely it got to his head very quickly, and then I see him doing Walmart ads
Hey,
right around
maybe,
Christmas
but
time.
good for that guy.
Yeah, you know what? Good for him. And that actually really makes me want cranberry juice right now because
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
definitely just
makes me want to
chugging that
listen to
video.
some Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
That as well. All right, well, that is our show.
Yes, it
Actually,
is.
one final announcement. So, Brennan and I are not exactly graphic designers, but our cover photo we definitely know could use some work. So, if you happen to know somebody or if you're really good at graphic designing, our email is spicingthingsuppodcast@gmail.com. I am willing to pay $10 per graphic art that we decide to keep. Again, that's spicingthingsuppodcast@gmail.com. Let me know. Brennan and I will definitely get back to you. We're very hands-on owners. But yeah, and then also we are
That'd be
officially
awesome.
on YouTube at Spicing Things Up Podcast. All right, Brennan, can I make a dad joke real quick to our audience?
I don't think there's any chance of me stopping you.
See you next year.
There it is. Classic. Classic.